Welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your vitality and health and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body. You are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That's why we're here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 29 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes and hypertension and obesity and skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system, the human body, is a healing system, it's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, formulations, ingredients, skin health, something you may have heard about, read about, and you want clarification, we can help you. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we can help you. 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. Of course, if you have a success story you'd like to share, we love hearing those. Or if you just want to contribute to the conversation, 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products you hear recommended or advertised on the program, please call the Bright Side Ben phone team at 866-735-2470. You can also head over to my blog, pharmacistben.com or criticalhealthnews.com, and you can order products right off the website. You can also sign up to join the Bright Side Ben team right off the websites, pharmacistben.com, criticalhealthnews.com, and brightsideben.com, or call the phone team at 866-735-2470. And if you want to purchase any of our Truth Skin Health products, including our Retinol 5% gel or our Truth Serum, made with lots and lots and lots of premium vitamin C, no fillers, no waxes, no oil, no water, no silicone, no preservative, no fragrance, no nothing your skin doesn't need or doesn't want. If you're not satisfied with your skin health products, your skincare products as is, I understand why, because 90% of it isn't doing anything. Truth Skin Health products are 100% active and functional. You can find out all about it at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, welcome back to The Bright Side, folks. We're talking about the ketogenic diet and hormones, and we left off talking yesterday about phytic acid and phytates. There's so much misunderstanding. There's so much misinformation, disinformation, just plain ignorance in the world of health and in the world of nutrition, in the world, in the news and politics, everywhere. We live in this world of dishonesty, this world of propaganda and misinformation and disinformation, and people trying to sell us stuff and people not giving us the straight scoop. And it seems like that's just the way of the world. If we're going to be able to cut through the muck and the mire, the baloney, we're going to have to slash our way out, folks. We're going to have to take our machete called critical thinking and slash our way out of this jungle of misinformation and disinformation. We got to be scientists. We got to be investigators. We have to be curious. We have to question. We have to question everything. This is why in this program sometimes we get a little technical. We don't always, on the bright side, I don't just tell you what works, I tell you why it works and why things don't work. We talk about why illness occurs and why strategies can be applied and how they work, so you guys can make your own decisions. You want to be able to make your own decisions. You want to be critical thinkers. I don't want to just tell you what to do. There's a zillion health programs out there that'll tell you what to do. Take this product, take this formula, take this vitamin, take this mineral. But on the bright side, we tell you the whys. The bright side is not a sales pitch. It's a hardcore information. It's hardcore detail. It's hardcore information that you can use to make your own changes, to doctor yourself, to make real changes in your health and your life. That's my promise to you. When you listen to the bright side, as much as I can, every minute of the program, we're going to be presenting to you hardcore information. For those of you who consider yourself scientists, who want to be scientists, not necessarily laboratory scientists, but scientists in the laboratory of life. The bright side is life science for life scientists, whether you're a baker or a salesman or a teenager or a retiree or a mom or a dad, or for that matter, a healthcare professional. And we have a lot of healthcare professionals listening to this program. And I know that sometimes what I talk about here flies in the face of mainstream understandings. Sometimes what we talk about is the exact opposite of what you hear from mainstream medicine or your mainstream alternative medicine, which unfortunately is more mainstream than alternative, sometimes anyway. So for the last couple of days, we've been talking about phytic acid and phytates. Two somewhat similar. They're not. There's a little bit of a difference between phytic acid and phytates, but they're used interchangeably. If you spend any time listening to mainstream dietitians and nutritionists talk about phytic acid or phytates, it's easy to come away thinking that these are things that you want to avoid or somehow detoxify or eliminate from your diet. But as it turns out, it is a bit more nuanced than this black and white notion of phytates bad, eliminating them good. Phytic acid is found in all plants, and its main role, particularly in seed plants, legumes and beans, but its main role is to provide seeds and to provide plants with a source of nutrition, particularly with the element phosphorus. If you look at the chemical structure of phytate, it looks like a mandala. Mandala is a symmetrical, geometrical form that is used in Eastern religions. Supposedly has spiritual significance. People meditate on mandalas. Well, the chemical structure of phytic acid is unbelievable. It's like a mandala. It's this perfectly symmetrical, circular structure. And I don't know much about the spirituality of it. I can't talk about that, but there probably is one. But I can tell you that its geometry is just a thing of beauty. And I don't mean to go all chemistry nerd on you, but if you just do a Google image search on it, you will see this incredibly beautiful chemical structure that is a marvel of organization and intelligence and balance and symmetry. So phytic acid's main role in the plant is to provide the plant with a source of phosphorus. It has other roles too. It's an antioxidant. It purifies toxicity, particularly something called aflatoxin. But its main role is as a storage form for the light bearer, phosphorus. Phosphorus is known as the light bearer because it has its ability to trap and project light. Phosphorus is amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. Its essence is light. It's a light mineral. Throughout history, phosphorus has attracted the imagination, the attention of scientists and chemists and medical investigators. It burns hot. It ignites spontaneously. It's used as a weapon, a military weapon, although some forms of it have been banned by the Geneva Convention because it's so darn hot and burns so vigorously. It burns spontaneously. It has to be stored in water sometimes because it burns spontaneously. It'll combust. And in biology, it is incredibly, incredibly important for our life force, as you would imagine, given its ability to transmit light, to emit light. It's a component of DNA, your genetics, and it's especially important for the electrical systems of the body, the highly electrical systems of the body, the brain, and the nervous system. And not surprisingly, plants are also dependent on phosphorus. In fact, there's very, very few elements that are more important to plants than phosphorus. And along with sodium and potassium, you get your NPK fertilizers that have revolutionized agriculture. Phosphorus is a sparking agent. It's a key ingredient in matches. Matches are made with a type of phosphorus, and when you rub the match against this the pad of your matchbook, which is made up of little particles of glass, poof, you get a flame. And it's this ability to provide spark that amps up the growth of plants. In the pre-industrial revolution days, farmers used crushed bone. They would mix it with a little acid, and they would release the phosphorus. And then somewhere around the middle of the 19th century, they figured out that they could make it industrially, and the agriculture revolution was born. Phosphorus is typically abundant in our diet. In fact, well, we underestimate the value of phosphorus because it is so darn abundant. It's found in great quantities. In fact, today, we get more phosphorus than we need because phosphorus is actually used as a food additive, and it's actually found in a lot of junk foods. And so phosphorus balance has been thrown off by our modern way of eating. All right, we'll talk about that when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll take a break and come back with more good health information right after this. Don't go away. We're back back on the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on our archive page at brightsideben.com. Also, benfuchsarchives.com. Thank you to Peter in the UK for setting that one up. We also have a blog for you at criticalhealthnews.com and videos on criticalhealthnews.com as well. Lots of videos, actually. And then also pharmacistben.com. If you're interested in purchasing any of the longevity products, you can do it right off the websites, or you can call the Brightside Ben phone team at 866-735-2470. All right, our number today, 844-236-6010. We'll get your calls in the bottom of the hour, as we always do on the Bright Side. If you have questions about health or nutrition or anything we're speaking about today, we're talking phosphorus, all as it regards phytic acid. We'll talk more about phytic acid tomorrow. Phosphorus is super interesting. It's one of my all-time favorite minerals. It's super important for biological health and for botanical health, for the health of plants as well. But we get a lot of phosphorus. In fact, there are some folks who think we get too much phosphorus. There's something called the unritalin diet, which is an ADHD or ADD, attention deficit disorder diet, that is linked to or associated with reducing phosphorus. There was a pharmacist named Hertha Hafer, Hafer, who I think 20 years ago or so figured out that a low phosphate diet could reduce the symptoms of ADD, of attention deficit disorder in kids. And that makes sense because phosphorus is a sparking agent. It makes things happen. And we get so much phosphorus in the diet. We don't get it necessarily from foods, although we do. High protein foods are going to have lots of phosphorus in them. But a lot of the phosphorus that we get these days comes as a food additive. Phosphates, because they're so active, do a lot of things. Phosphorus, I should say. Phosphates are a little different. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But phosphorus in the form of phosphates do so many things. They're so active. So they use them in processed foods, basically, in soups and breads and cheeses. It's an emulsifying agent. It's especially found in soda pop, phosphoric acid. So these days we get a lot of phosphorus. And this German pharmacist, Hertha Hafer, figured out that it turned, well, for some folks anyway, by going low phosphorus, going low phosphate, they could reduce ADHD symptoms in kids and in adults. Phosphorus is kept in a tight balance. It's super active, so the body keeps it in a tight balance with calcium and magnesium. And once you throw off phosphorus balance, if you're drinking a lot of soda or you're eating a lot of processed foods or a lot of dairy foods, dairy products are high in phosphates. If you're getting a lot of phosphorus, you can throw off your calcium balance, your magnesium balance. You could throw off your vitamin D balance, and this could be a source of a lot of illness, especially when it comes to the bones. The bones are kept strong via phosphorus and via an interaction between vitamin D and phosphorus and calcium, and it may be that osteoporosis is also associated with excessive amounts of phosphorus. There's this delicate balance between all of these things. Parathyroid hormone and growth factors and calcium and magnesium and vitamin D. You can't throw these things off, and this is where the problem with processed foods comes in. Sometimes you won't even see phosphates on the ingredient deck. Sometimes they're a part of the natural flavoring complex that are found in processed foods. In the body, phosphorus is always combined with, or almost always, 99% of the time, is going to be combined with oxygen in a form called phosphate. And this phosphate is an important blood energizer. It also helps stabilize pH levels. And phosphates, in turn, combine with things like iron to form iron phosphate, and calcium to form calcium phosphate, and sodium phosphate, and potassium phosphate. Phosphates just do a lot of things. Although calcium gets all the press when it comes to the strength of the bones, it turns out phosphorus is a key player there too. And there's a very important balance between these two things. So by taking or ingesting too much phosphorus, you can throw off calcium balance, and this can cause a problem with weakness of the bones. It's the ratio, the balance, the comparison between phosphorus and calcium that's relevant. That's why you can't just take calcium supplements if you want to get strong bones. This is why numerous studies show that calcium supplements don't help your osteoporosis. This is why they do studies on calcium supplements periodically, and they'll say, oh, well, calcium supplements cause calcification of the arteries or problems with too much calcium. It's because you can't throw off the balance. Calcium is in balance with phosphorus, and that's why foods, real foods, natural foods, whole foods are always going to be the best way to get your nutrients. I'm a big believer in supplementation, as you know, but they can't touch food when it comes to the perfection, the balance, how everything is in just the right proportion in whole foods, natural foods. I'm not talking about processed foods, whole natural foods. And so why you can't just swallow calcium supplements and expect your bones to get stronger, even though that's what we're kind of induced to believe through commercials and marketing interests. Health and nutrition, you got to understand a few things. You can't just take a pill. That's why we talk about the details here on this program. In the case of calcium for strong bones and for strong teeth as well, you got to get your calcium in the right balance with phosphorus. You need about a 4-to-10 ratio of phosphorus to calcium. When this concentration drops, when bone and